Welcome to the English Lovers by Hannity. Today we are going to talk about the D part again, but today the concept of study is to know about the different steps to follow when we, attempt a question in the D part. What are the different steps to follow when we attempt any of the question in the D part? These are the general rules for any of the question to be done. So let's move on to the next slide. Yes, here you can see that there are 4 steps which are given here. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Okay, and if you're following these steps properly, then definitely your answer is going to be correct. Okay, but these are the general rules that you need to follow whenever you see a question. These are the things that you need to see in the transformation of sentences generally. Sorry. So the first step is see the tense of the question. Whenever you solve a question or see a question, you have to see the first thing, that is the tense of the question, because tense of the question matters the most. Whatever tense the question would be of, and the answer is gonna be the same way, like answer is to be in the same tense. Okay, so if there is a present tense in the question, the answer is to be in the present tense itself. If the question is in the past tense or future tense, it would be accordingly that. Sorry. Then second thing that you need to know is to see the category of the question. This is important because suppose the question is asked in the active to passive form, like we are to see this thing, like whether the question is to be done in the active or in the passive form. Category matters the most because like if the question is asked in the direct or indirect speech, if you answer in the passive voice, that won't suit at all. Okay, and if the question is asked in the affirmative, answer is to be done in some interrogative or some other form, it would be with the help of the clue you will be recognizing that. But the thing is, you need to know that what kind of question is asked. Are they asking me to change that into the compound sentence or the complex sentence, or what kind of question is asked? That is also of great concern. First thing is the tense. And the second thing is the category of the question. What kind of question is it? Is it the transformation of active to the passive, direct to indirect speech, or the different forms of sentences are interconverted? Okay, or some other sorts of conversions are there, like a usage of unless, usage of no, sooner than. So such sort of combinations usually used to come in the exam, so that's why I used to recommend that. Okay, you need to prepare those sorts of transformation. But in this video we are just talking about the general steps to be followed whenever we are actually attempting any of the question. The third thing that you need to see is accordingly the category, bring the changes. So whatever category is there, accordingly that you bring the change. If it is the direct speech, you need to know the rules of changing that into the indirect speech. If it is the active voice, question is in the active voice, you need to know what are the rules to change it into the passive voice, or any of the other sorts of transformation is there. The rules are needed to be known from within your heart. You need to have the information, because practice makes you perfect. And I think this transformation has been started from your 5th standard onwards, so I think you're gonna easily cross it. Then definitely the last step, before that last step, you should know that the transformation has to be done in the same tense. That means the tense should remain the same, which is already this point, but how it is different, but different form. That means the form has to be changed. That means if we keep an example for a body or a soul, okay, just take an example for a soul. Okay, we can wear the different dresses, so we have to change the attire of it, but the soul and the body will remain the same inside. The tense will remain the same inside. Got it? So the dress is going to be changed, the attire, the form is going to be changed. Thus a little bit of grammatical aspects are going to be changed, a little bit of, but no tense is gonna be changed. Then the last one is you need to check your punctuation. That means the grammatical rules, all those rules, like whether you have put a period after the statement, or you have to put the question mark after it, or exclamatory sign after it. What kind of sign is to be put into use, or is the comma needed in between the clauses, or it is to be written without the comma, okay, splices and something. So if it is done, then I think your answer is correct. So let's move on to the next slide. Yeah, so let's practice a little bit so that we will be used to the kind of questions and the steps to follow. The first step was that you are going to see the tense. Here one thing is missing, double S it should be, so accordingly that we need to. So the first step is to recognize the tense. What is the tense here? Does not used to be, does not embarrass. First of all, the kind of like tense it is we can simply recognize from does, and it's singular one. That is why it is generally used to make the negative sentence in the present indefinite tense. So we recognize it. Okay, you need to know these already. I know that already, that's why I'm writing here, but you should know that before, then you can easily do it. Okay, now here we got to know the first step, that is what is the tense of it. Okay, and now we need to see that what is the category of the question written here. Okay, like poverty does not embarrass the family. Okay, let's start that with the family. Okay, let's give you a clue. If it is to be started with the family, what should be the answer? That means in the answer you need to start it, frame it with the family first. Okay, really sorry for that. The family. Okay, now if we are actually used to such questions, then definitely we'll be able to analyze that. Here again double S, the family is written at last, but now in the beginning. I think we'll be able to analyze and judge it, that the question answer is to be written in the passive voice, because generally when we change from the active to the passive voice, we change the positions of the subject and the object, like the family, which is singular one, but the rule we have to analyze now. Now this is the kind of question, and what are the different desired changes are to be brought. Now this is the third step that we're gonna do. Okay, what are the different changes to be done within the answer? Like we can't change the tense of it, so that is why we have to see the rule that past indefinite we need to have information for, like for singular is, am, are plus verbs, the third form is a mandatory rule. Now what you need to do is you need to just see that thing, that the first word is the family, and then thereafter the family word, what you need to write, you need to write is, am, are or something accordingly. Okay, sorry. The family is singular one. Now here it will come is, here will come is, the family is. Now it is negative, it will remain negative. Okay, in the active and passive voice it happens like that. The family is not embarrassed. Embarrassed, double S, by poverty. Okay, clear? So that you need to see that within changes that you need to see, but putting is plus verbs third form shows that the present indefinite is written in the passive form. Okay, so the tense is not to be changed, only the form is to be changed. And at last we need to see the punctuation is to be correct one. So we are putting a full stop here, and that's the period we need to know that we need to put here, because the question is in the assertive form. Now let's move on to the next question. We won't take time now because I think we have already gotten to know that what are the steps to be followed. Let us see that what are the different steps to be followed now for the next. My cousin earns a lot but spends a lot. So now in the question actually what you need to do is you need to start it with the more. Okay, suppose you have to start it with the more. Okay, then how the answer is to be written, you have to see that one. Okay, first of all, what is the thing, you need to see the tense of the question. Okay, what is the tense? A tense, it is earns a lot. Here will come my cousin earns, no, this is wrong, this is not to be there. Okay, my cousin earns a lot but he spends a lot. So one and the same thing. Okay, we have to write that statement like, okay, my cousin earns a lot but he spends a lot, but the question answer is to be started with the more. The tense, we got to know that what is the tense. Verbs first form plus as used to be in the present indefinite. So the more my cousin earns, comma, here punctuation is needed, comma is needed, the more he spends. So this is the way to do it. The more my cousin earns, the more he spends, full stop. This is the way to write it, and full stop is to be there at last because question is with this one. And if there is something mentioned like interrogative or something, then you are going to do it accordingly. So I think now it is clear. Let's move on to the next question. This is the last question that we are going to do today. That is going to help us to know about the steps once more. We need to see the tense here. Actually, first is the tense, then is the category, and then we need to bring the changes into that, and then we need to see the punctuation in that. Okay, here we are having the third question, and we need to see that the tense is in the present itself. No need to worry about that one. Okay, but the thing is, it is written with the word need. Okay, we need. Okay, need, when we use, we like need, will, shall, ought to, or something like that. So the rule used to be different way, but here actually it is in the present form. Remember that. I'm not talking about the modal verbs here. We are simply talking about the tense. Simply we have to see the what is the tense, and the tense should not change. But the thing is, what kind of change, second step is very important in this case. That not only but also, because in not only but also, let me tell you that we need to follow the parallel rule. Okay, parallel rule shows that if after not only you are writing adjective, then but after but also you need to write adjective. If you are writing a noun after not only, you have to write a noun after but also too. So that's very important. So you need to do the change accordingly. That let's see that what's the way to do it. Okay, we can start it with we. Okay, we have to use it only, not to start with. So we, okay, we need not only we need not only an accountant, okay. After not only we have used a noun, an accountant. Then with but also we need to use an like a noun, but also we need not only an accountant but also a superintendent, whatever it is, intendant. Okay. What would be the answer? Let me tell you clearly. We need not only an accountant but also a superintendent. Okay, superintendent. Then what you need to see here is we are following the 4 different steps. So punctuation, at last you need to see that with not only but also, that doesn't matter that way somehow, but the thing is, like usually when we are following the transformations of as soon as into no sooner than, there we need to be confirmed about with the as soon as, like we can put a comma after the clause we write with as soon as, but with no sooner and then combination we don't put a comma in between the clauses. At last we put a full stop. That's something else. But here I think the 4 general steps are clear to you. Just prepare yourself best for it and prepare this D part, because most of the students used to do a mistake in that, very silly mistakes. So God bless you all and take care. Bye bye, and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get the new updates of the videos using my channel. I think you are going to learn a lot. If you're gonna give me the feedback, as well as you're gonna share my video with your friends too. Thank you very much. It is time to say goodbye. Take care.